Hello, everyone. How's it going? Episode 2 on March 26, 2024. It's actually my second time recording. Growing pains. I recorded an episode. Sound didn't work. So, doing it again. Hopefully, it's just good as the first time. All right. Before I forget, I totally forgot the most simple thing. Hit like, subscribe my channel, Michinsports. 미국 친구 sports, Michinsports. Okay, I will try my best to explain to you guys a lot of American sports, including MLB, Dodgers, NBA, Nuggets, and NFL, Broncos. Beyond that, the topics that we go over. All right, the first thing I'm going to talk about, the news broke out as soon as I started, or I was uploading last week, or after I recorded, was Ohtani, Shohei Ohtani, and the interpreter. I believe his name is Ep.2. The whole gambling controversy. If I remember correctly, he's been with Ohtani, was an interpreter. I think they're friends too, since 2013. So 10 plus years. But news has broke out that, he's been gambling Ohtani's money, or with Ohtani's money. Ohtani didn't know about it. It's a huge deal where, he has been fired from the Dodgers. He will probably never, ever have that job again, or any sort of job. And, he's pretty much been a celebrity. I don't know if he'll be able to get any job like that moving forward. I have my opinions on it, where for him, it's unfortunate. Like I said, I think he has become a celebrity. He's probably making good money, and all he had to do was his job. On the whole gambling thing, it's sad. Now, in the past week, whether it's the Dodgers haters or Ohtani haters have their opinions on whether Ohtani was involved or not. For me, I'm gonna stay out of it. Yes, I will talk about some controversy on my show, but as of right now, it's not something I want to talk about. As a Dodger fan and as an Ohtani fan, I hope the truth comes out and he's cleared of it. And also, if he ends up being the best, two-way player in baseball history or close to it, hey, that's all I wanted. So for today and for now, I will stay out of the gambling controversy. Okay. All right. Next thing. While we're talking about gambling and controversy, there's an NBA player, or was, named Jontay Porter. He played for the Toronto Raptors. And a couple of weeks ago when I saw him on TV, I thought it was cool because that's Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, MPJ. One of my homeboys from the Nuggets. Well, not my real homeboy, but, very important piece to our championship. So I don't know what the update is, but I think he's been suspended indefinitely because of some gambling controversy. Hope it gets cleared and he's ready to go. It's always good to see brothers playing sports together, whether it's another team or all that. Being Korean American, and we talked about K-drama, Netflix, Squid Games, Physical 100, all of that. Korean food recently has been getting really, really popular. Probably talked about Korean fried chicken last week. I think you guys should definitely try. And, hopefully in the future, I have some guests. I don't know if they'll be here physically in person, or might have to do a call, record that and upload that, but that'd be kind of cool, and then if some of my guests, if they're coming from Koreatown, if they brought some takeout Korean food that I could share with you guys, that'd be cool. My channel, I'm gonna try my best to stick to sports, and we'll talk about some Korean issues, Korean American issues, Asian American issues, but including Korean food to some of it. I don't eat a lot, so there's no way I can do anything like mukbang, but maybe something like that is possible. The Seoul series, the 2 games last week that happened after I recorded episodes last week on Wednesday and Thursday Pacific time. It was at 3 a.m. and I actually woke up both nights, days, mornings to watch it. And Dodgers won game 1. with Tyler Glasnow starting, and then game 2 we had Yoshinobu Yamamoto starting, and we got our butts kicked, or Yamamoto got his butt kicked first inning. But it was a high-scoring game, if anything, so it was entertaining. So, yeah, I was kind of glad when it was over. You know, talking about the whole games in Korea, everything I was looking forward to, like the crowd, the stadium, the fans, the media, the professionalism, the popularity of baseball. So, all that kind of worked out, as in waking up at 3 a.m. to watch Dodger games. For now, I don't have to do that. So, I'm kind of glad that, that part is over. Um, uh, I'm actually in my son's room. He just turned 9, so he's in the 3rd grade. This is his room. And I kind of set these up just for this show, and I probably continue will. Nuggets and Dodgers and Voltron. And then, he's 9. So right now he's a big Minecraft and Five Nights at Freddy's fan. So I guess if I don't explain it, I probably look too old, but maybe if I got my hopes up, I could be like a college student in a dorm room, and, I have young people's hobbies. That's not the case. So, yeah. So I have a 9-year-old son, and I also have a 12-year-old daughter. Awesome kids. Maybe they'll be on an episode one of these. We'll see. They're telling me they're both camera shy. But in 4 years ago, I think you get to see them much younger. Custom clothing. So, hey, if you glance at it, you probably can't tell, but I am wearing a Dodgers hoodie and has a Nike sign on it. Favorite team and favorite brand, I don't know. And then the hoodie that I'm wearing is a Proclub hoodie. I don't, some of you are probably familiar with Proclub, but yeah, Proclub recently came out with this color. Usually their colors are pretty set on black, dark gray, light gray, and navy blue, but they recently came out with a tan color. It's their hoodie and zip-up hoodies that's popular, and also their cargo sweatpants, along with their t-shirts. So I will try my best on each episode to wear something fresh and different, hopefully that you've never seen. Last week's episode, it was just so much. I didn't even get a chance because the front of it you guys seen before, but it was actually a customized Ohtani jersey on the back, and I recorded too long. I want to try to finish everything under 30 minutes. I think even 30 is too long. We'll see what happens today. But yeah, I couldn't even think to myself to turn around and show you guys the back of the jersey. So it's not a typical Nike player's jersey. That's why I thought it was special. Maybe down the road I'll show it to you guys again. March Madness. So I used to be not a big college basketball fan anymore. So I didn't even talk about it and realized March Madness started last week, right? I do watch March Madness, the college basketball playoffs, but I don't watch any college basketball, especially in the regular season. And then I always fill out a couple brackets on ESPN app just for fun. And because I find out recently, because I actually don't watch any college basketball, I actually do better in my predictions. Maybe that's another thing. I do not gamble. I don't know if it's probably a good thing. I don't bet on sports. Some people don't believe me. I've heard, how do you know so much about sports and you don't even bet or gamble? And then as I gotten older, I kind of explained it maybe I do love sports to the extent that I do because I don't bet on sports. My thoughts. If you do, hey, all good. I know some people are so good, they make a living out of it. I know there's, poker players out there. I think that's a little bit different, but sports betting, I have my opinions on it. And at least for myself, I can't speak for others, it's better that I don't bet on sports. I'm not a gambler on sports. We'll leave it at that. And I think, it's ironic too. But down the road, I'll talk about there was an interaction I had with one person where, yeah, what did they say? They said, hey, what do you think? Who's going to win this? Like the over, under, and the line. And then I was like, I don't even recently like telling people who I think is going to win, and then, someone was like, oh, that's messed up. You don't want to share your knowledge and wealth. And I'm like, I don't have any wealth not to share, especially from sports betting, since I don't do any. There you go, irony of it. Games 1 and 2. Hey, Dodgers won game 1. It was a good game. Game 2 was, really high scoring. And we lost, so felt great game 1. Didn't feel great game 2. And I talked about my son. He actually slept next to me both of those nights. Woke up at 3 a.m. And watched it. Not like fully watched it. It was dozing in and out. A little bit. Game 1, I think because the Dodgers winning, he was a little bit more interested. Game 2, he barely, stayed awake. But hey, a trooper for even, attempting. So I give him props. For a 9-year-old, yeah. I do wish he would watch more games, not just the 3 a.m. games. Last week, I gave a bunch of shout out, mostly to the Asian American internet personalities. Most of them, Korean American. And I even mentioned Joe Rogan. And then I think I put his name up on the reel. And then later I was like, hey, he's not even Asian, right? But then, Joe Rogan is a very special guy. Maybe I'll talk more later. I think he's very, very smart. Hence, his success, not just as this or that, mainly to you guys as a UFC commentator, but, he started out as a struggling stand-up comedian. But how I associate him, maybe, things in common with me is Taekwondo. He later on in life, learned Taekwondo, fell in love with it, competed at a pretty high level, as far as I know, from listening to this podcast, and even became an instructor. And no one really has told me, I bet he was a pretty good Taekwondo instructor. And then he started there when it comes to martial arts, I believe. And then he is now where he is because of his skills and his knowledge, even other things, if you just listen to him, very smart guy. Again, I don't want to get controversial on, where he sits with, on the political side, not my show, not me at all. But I did want to talk about that. I also, last week, all the shout out I gave out to, I think we're all mostly males. So I might have mentioned Kirsten's name, man. Dodger fans, of course, know that. It's not everybody. So it's Kirsten Watson. She's the Dodgers reporter on Sportsnet. Very good at what she does. So shout out to her. A few years ago, she replaced someone named Alana Rizzo. I'm pretty sure that's her name. So Alana, same thing. She was a Dodgers reporter. Very good. I think after she was on, she went over to the MLB network, which was good. And I always try to find ties or, similarities. So with Alana, I'm not sure if she grew up in Colorado. Maybe I'll find out. But I know she went to Colorado State University in Fort Collins. So, I thought that was cool when I got to know her. There you go. Stand-up comedy. I talked about Joe Rogan. I personally love to watch stand-up comedy. Never been to one in person. But it's something that I've been watching since probably college days. A to Z. I'll watch all of them. I really love stand-up comedy. And a recent one I watched on Netflix, Steve Trevino. Mexican-American guy that grew up, I believe, in San Antonio, Texas. Similar in age, a family man, married with 2 kids. Man, like a couple weeks ago during the day, I had time, so I watched it. I laughed my butt off for the whole hour plus, and I loved it so much I recommended it to my wife. And I think that night or the night after, we watched it together, and she was laughing her butt off for the whole hour plus, and it was just awesome, right? Laughing is good therapy, and it helped me that day, and it was awesome to see my wife watch the same thing that I watched that I enjoyed. So If you guys get a chance, check it out on Netflix. It's the latest one. I want to say, so it's Steve Trevino. I think the title was Family Man. Maybe I'm wrong, but something that's sort. It was very good. Next thing I want to talk about is cuss words, bad words in English and Korean. So for those of you bilingual out there, whether it's Korean, Chinese, Mandarin, Cantonese, Spanish, other languages, I came to the States when I was 9, and even to this day when I meet some people, if they're not bilingual, they always ask, hey, how do you say this bad word, that bad word, this cuss word, that cuss word? And when I was, when you're young, you're like, oh, but then, they say it over and over again. I guess to a point, it's not even funny. And, it happens when you're 9 or 44. So I've gotten to a way, like, if the person speaks or is interested in learning that language, like, I will go over with them. But then, some people, that's all they want to know, like the 2-3 words, and say it over and over again. And then if they're hanging out with you in your culture, it makes you look bad, right? And it's obvious who taught it to them. So, my opinion on it, like, I find ways to not teach it to them, or just teach them a different word and explain, like, hey, so maybe it's an advice to some of you out there. My opinion on it, I'm not a big fan of when somebody asks me, how do you say all these bad words? Sometimes they're Korean, ask me about English, and sometimes it's English, ask me about Korean. But that's how I feel about, cuss words and bad words if you are bilingual. While we're on the topic of speaking another language or being bilingual, growing up here, my Korean, if you see me from previous episodes, I think is pretty good. And, it's probably because I was born in Korea and came here when I was 9. But I made sure, or now I make sure, I use it, I speak it, I watch it, so it remains pretty good, good enough for me to translate and interpret. And then not just for me, but I have friends that are born and raised here, in the States. And some of my Korean American friends, their Korean is awesome. It's like, it's better than me, better than mine. Some of them, it's more like my kids, where it's not as good. Like, they'll understand a lot of it, but they don't like to speak it. And the past 35 years, I think the biggest difference that I notice is people or kids or Koreans, or if they watch video, like we call it K-drama, right? If they watch that with their grandparents or their parents growing up, and they actually care, because there's no subtitles back then. I think their Korean's pretty good compared to people that maybe didn't watch, they only watched American TV. It's probably all from listening and hearing. Back in the days, when we were growing up in America, we had to go to the video store. Yes, VHS. So they would record it. And it kind of worked where, K-drama, the way it works is either like 2 episodes per week, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, Thursday. And then, so Monday, Tuesday episode. I think Wednesday, when you go, like, by lunchtime, it'd be out. So, and sometimes they would run out, but, VHS days. When it moved on to DVD, I don't think many of us did DVD, K-dramas in DVD. And then now, everything's on demand. In Korea, they call it OTT. Yeah, Koreans use a lot of it in OTT, SNS, MMS, and all that. But yeah, now it's better than ever, and you can turn subtitles on. And if you are Korean American, born in the States, and if you want to improve on your Korean, find something. There's so many to watch, from dramas to variety shows to singing shows. Watch it, have the subtitles on, and then hopefully, that helps you with the language that you already know, because it's in your blood. It's part of your DNA. So there you go. From all the shout outs I gave out last week, one of them, Dave Chang. I think you guys all know who he is. And I was talking about how his new Netflix show was so special because it was live. And I still haven't been corrected. Let's see. But yeah, it's the first live show I see. And I couldn't think of the name. It's called Dinner Time Live, where, he's a host and he's cooking for them. And, some of it he has to pre-prep it for the show to work. But yeah, season 2, I said, got picked up. He recorded an episode last week, and then it'll be on today. I from what I see, it's on every Tuesdays, sometime in the PM on Netflix. Dinner Time Live, Dave Chang. So if you're already into cooking, it's something that you should watch. But if not, because he's doing interviews too, his guests are big names, celebrities. So if you guys get a chance, check it out. Last thing I want to talk about, comedians. I talked about comedy quite a bit, and I said this is a sports channel. So my opinion on comedians, whether they're American, from the U.S., or even you know what, like I've seen Europeans, like British or Australian, that do stand up in English, and also for Korean comedians. I don't know what it is. Comedians, in my opinion, from the celebrities, are one of the smartest people. They're very, very talented. A comedian, I hope they're funny, right? That's their job, and then beyond that, they would be, most of them, good singers, good dancers, good actors and actresses. They will copy people, mimic people, and they'll be very good at it. There's a lot of them I could talk about, but I always wondered, I don't know if all comedians would be book smart, like in straight A's and, I don't know, going to Ivy League. I'm sure there are, but, in general, I think their brains work in a different way. They're really, really smart. You could talk to them about anything. And they're very talented as in what they have to do to entertain people. And then for myself, I had pretty good grades. I don't think I had a B until 9th grade. But then once I got my first B, then it was like a roller coaster going straight down. We don't need to talk about that. I never grew up wanting to be a comedian. But from when I was 3 or 4, even in Korea, I did grow up wanting to be a singer. I do think even till now, with a little bit of practice, I am an above average singer. I think I'm a decent dancer. I think dancing is a little bit different. Like you need to, have a beat to be a somewhat of a dancer, and then dance moves. I think most of it comes from practicing. I'm not saying it's easy, but because some people will be good singers, and then some people would be good dancers, and some people have both. Good for them. But what I talked about was, I never wanted to be a comedian. I don't take myself as a funny person. I guess I've heard entertaining, growing up, but I'm entertaining or interesting to watch, but never, And then I think with comedy, like I don't have that personality. Sometimes I take myself too seriously. My family and friends will tell you, yeah. Maybe it's a flaw, but if I can overcome that, I actually think maybe I can try comedy. I don't know. And my birthday is right around the corner, turning 44. But I did mention maybe for my 50th birthday, how cool would it be? Like for me, small, family and friends ran out like a small theater, if it's possible. Have good food, share some drinks. I have many friends that are talented, so maybe we can do like a music skit. Of course, all of this needs practice. For some of you thinking I'm good, no. Even if you're good, you have to practice if you're gonna perform. So maybe we can do a musical performance. I don't know if I would do an acting, but maybe I could write and do like a 10-15 minute stand-up comedy sketch. That would be a cool goal, looking down 6 years later. So that's it for today, guys. As I mentioned, this is my second time recording. I don't know which one went better. First one, yep. Soon as I went to go upload, no sound. I thought I was tripping out, but and maybe there is a way to correct it. But just in case there wasn't, I don't have time to record again. It seems like Tuesdays will be the day. So hopefully by Tuesday night I have my videos uploaded. I forgot to say last week, I said in the beginning, please hit like, subscribe my channel, Michinsports, my episodes. And thank you for watching. Last week's episode, I know it's not much, but, had number of views that, 4 years ago, in 3-4 years, I didn't hit. So hopefully this gains some momentum. And I bring some entertaining news to you guys and share stuff with you guys. And once again, thank you for watching. I will see you guys next week. Please be safe.